All right, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we just wrapped up our managers meeting with the production team, the sales team, and our management team. And we just wrapped that up, went over some goals, our expectations for the week, the good, the bad, the ugly, and what we can do to better ourselves and to achieve those goals that we're seeking out. Right now we're about to head out to a commercial job over in the city of Tampa, check it out, and then we're gonna run to a metal job and look at this and see what we need to do to kind of resolve some of these issues that we're having. So come check it out with us and let's go. So the great thing about commercial is, you know, obviously bigger ticket jobs. For one, they pay well, they pay on time. Yes, there are bigger risks involved, but with bigger risks becomes bigger reward, bigger checks. Most commercial jobs in my eyes is anything $250,000 or more. So you have potential reps that have the capability of earning anywhere from, I would say an average, anywhere from 7 to 10% on a commercial job. So you're looking at anywhere from, you know, on a $250,000 job, you know, an average of a $20,000 to $25,000 commission. Now, some ticket items are even bigger. The one that we're going to look at is about 1,400 squares. This is a 800 to a $1.2, $1.3 million project, potentially, depending on what type of system we can select for the customer. But this has an earnings anywhere from 80 to over 6 figures on one commission. So they do take time. You know, you don't just get it like residential. Residential, you might be able to, you know, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, and sign a contract the same day. You know, with commercial, you know, it takes a little bit of educating the customer. It takes a little bit of research of what type of systems applied to that type of roof, and making sure that, you know, they get the knowledge and the right proposal that fits their budget. So it takes a little bit of time. And then you have to deal with a lot of board members, a lot more decision makers that are involved. So it does take time, but man, if you could do 4 projects in the $1 million range a year, you're making more than doctors, easily. So I love them. You know, I enjoy doing commercial projects. I love building them. I get super fired up. You know, I have the right equipment, I got the right team for it, and then I know there's gonna be big paychecks at the end of the day. And it's also just, you know, it's a better accomplishment when you put something together for the customer and it's a unique project. You know, a lot of commercial projects are that way, and you accomplish it, you get it done the right way, and everybody wins. It's an amazing freaking feeling. And then at the end of the day, it's like, that's what I did. You know, I was able to build something that was so extravagant, so technical, and we were able to knock it out the park. So what we're gonna do today, and I'm gonna show you guys, is what I do to set ourselves up for success, to be able to sign up these monster jobs, what I call whales. These are $1 million projects. It's all about doing a great digital analysis of the property, condition report of the roof, and giving the options and the education. And it's about really just building the rapport to the customer. Because again, you know, these are high ticket items. They want to make sure they're getting the best bang for their buck. There are a lot of investors involved in these type of projects because they're thinking about the money in the long term. So in order to set us up, we got to make sure we spend our time in our relationship with the owners and the decision makers of these properties. And I'll show you guys exactly how to do that coming right up. Yeah, no guns at the port, guys. Remember that? I forgot that I had a gun in my car. I'm gonna put everything in his truck and we're gonna take my truck in. The DEA will sometimes just pop up here because firearms, drugs, they wanna check to see what's coming into the port. They might just do randos just to see if you have any weapons, if you have any drugs that you might be trying to sneak off into the port and ship it off into, you know, another country.
All right, any weapons?
No, sir.
All right, all 3 of your IDs?
Yeah, sometimes I guess they have like a suspicion or something too. This is Austin. Austin Bernard, he's one of my up-and-coming stars in the roofing industry. He's only been with me for what, 6 months, 7 months?
About 8 months.
8 months now, and he's already on track to do $1 million his first year. This is his lead, his contact. This could turn for a big win for Austin. This is gonna be a nice little $80,000 commission for him. So right now we're gonna go and meet the one of the owners, decision makers. I'm just kind of fill him in. He's not feeling too good, but we just want to shake his hand and answer any questions he may have. The offer, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
How you doing?
So this is Billy too. Billy's going to be getting on the roof as well.
Okay.
See what type of options. I know one was, you know, questionable if we could replace the screws.
The metal looks good, it's just the seam and you know, I'm saying, we put all brand new screws. And they'll go a little bigger, put brand new
His
screws.
take on it.
I think it's the best time. You guys just get up there and do your thing.
Yeah.
What it take you guys, I'm gonna show you how to get up there.
Now just be careful if there's any skylights.
Oh yeah, just that much oil, it just gets on everything, you know.
So it's just fumes. It's not even like overspray or anything. It's just, so this is Emily oil. This is all your oil products that you probably see nationwide in Advanced Auto Parts. All your, what type of oils, Austin?
Just a lubricant, all lubricants. Like, and
oil filter.
a lot of oil companies, like if you look at the bottom of the bottle, it's gonna say, you know, AOC on it, like it was produced here. They get the contrast because they,
oil company.
Yep.
And so what we just witnessed was all the packaging, all the oil, making the containers, and it's basically where all the magic happens that your lubricant and oils come from. Not that kind of lubricant. Yeah. So what we're looking at right now is they're wanting to scope out the damaged area, Austin, right, which is over here.
Yes, this roof. My boss at the time, when I worked here, I was in safety. He said, hey, do you know any roofers? And I said, I think John Franco's a roofer. You know, I didn't even talk to you for like a year. So I messaged you, I was like, hey, do you do commercial roofs? And you go, yes, I do. He came out, did the roof contract, and then, you know, I remember, you know, I was just doing it because you're my friend.
Yeah.
And he hit me up, he said, oh, I owe you a referral bonus. You know, I was like, oh, I didn't do it because whatever, cool. I thought he was gonna give me like $50, but he gave me 1%, which was, you know, about,
how much?
Oh, it was a $65,000 job, so $650. I was like, hey man, how much would I have made if I had sold this roof? And he's like, probably about $5 grand. I was like, where do I sign up?
2 weeks, like the Wolf of Wall Street. 2 weeks later, he quit his job and joined Green Tech. And now he's on track to do $1 million in his first year.
I feel like it was the best decision I've ever made in my life, which it's a low bar, but
Life-changing money for you.
yep, I make twice what I did when I worked here.
You know, replacing all these screws and sealing, it's just, you might as well just coat the whole thing. Yeah, because anytime you replace the screws, you can't just go with the same size screw, right? You know, in the same hole, the threads are already open. It's not gonna bite like it did originally. So you're gonna have to use bigger screws to get into the purlins, and that creates more work. And, you know, by doing so, I think a coating system or replacing it would be the option. You know, what you want to do for coating systems, especially having exposed skylights like this, is when you do coat it, you're gonna blend everything in now, right? So you want to be able to make sure that after, when you finish coating it, that you distinguish the skylights. So that way when people come up here to inspect the roof or walk the roof, it doesn't create a hazard and they fall through. So say I do this white, a coating that's white, then where the skylights are, I might want to do a gray finish. Because if not, when you see a lot of it, you get on a roof that's coated, especially a roof system like this, I've seen it all the time, and you don't see the skylights, and that's how people die, because they just don't pay attention to it and they fall right through. Ooh, what does that smell? I mean, that's like a sulfur. It's a water treatment?
Water treatment. It's for the reclaimed water.
I know, Austin, remind me, I remember they said they had a lot of leaks over here to the right, and that's where their servers were, correct? So we're gonna walk over to the server area, see if we could pinpoint any leaks. Look at this. So here's a question they have. When you see this, obviously a coating system, when you see certain rust spots like this, coating's not gonna help holes in the roof, right? So obviously you can't prep for this. They do make a mesh that we could cover these areas up and fix it too as well.
But holes this size, you're gonna want to take a thin piece of metal,
Yep.
cover over it so that it doesn't create a problem down the road, and then coat over.
You got a lot of pictures of this? Good pictures, not just, you know, you gotta take your time. Get some good. Austin moves really fast when he does this thing.
And honestly, from a structural standpoint on this one, you would want to get a panel probably a foot past where the screw line is, and then come down another foot past where this screw line is, and kind of insert the panel over top.
So basically you're gonna, yeah, and you want to be able to obviously, so structurally sound, correct, and coating it first afterwards. But what about any water intrusion? You would still caulk the lats? Or would you cut? I would recommend cutting this here and then go underneath the panel.
Cut the panel, slide it underneath, and then you can go over top on this side.
And you can see somebody spray painted this area because this is a cautious area. See that? So probably from here to where the other line is, at least 2 feet over this lat, I would recommend cutting this panel out, sliding in a new panel, going past it, so that's why it's structurally sound, then coat over it if they were going with a coating system. Because a hole that big, coating's not gonna really help. And the pitch will fall hazard later on. You know, rust is like a cancer, so it just spreads. Once it starts rusting, it's not gonna stop. Anytime I get on a roof, commercial, like this, I do look for the obvious, right? Number one is just the damages, the compromised areas, whether it's potential leaks, workmanship issues. As in this case where there's a hole in the roof, that's a compromised system, so it needs to be addressed sooner than later. And I'm gonna document the entire roof to find that first. So this is what we're doing now, is just documenting everything, photos, lots of photos. On this roof being this size, I would probably come back with at least 200 photos. After we document everything, number two is we put together in our CRM system all the photos, we label the photos, we even edit the photos so we could point out to the damages, you know, with arrows, with circles, we document it, we notate what it is. So when we present the digital analysis, the photo condition report to the customer, it's actually labeled and organized on what we found on the roof, so they know what we're looking at and understand what we're looking at. And number three, once I have my report together, I'm gonna go ahead and send that over to the owner, to the contact at the property, but not just with an email. I'm gonna explain everything, but I'm also gonna follow up with a phone call, a text message, and the email, and be able to try to sit face to face, or at least schedule a conference or a Zoom call with them, so that way I can explain everything that I sent to them, because a lot of this stuff is foreign language to them, so by sending the report to them doesn't do justice. So these skylights right now, by our observation, when you see this much of the fiberglass being exposed and you see the threads coming out almost like furs or hairs, you know, the integrity of the skylight has basically been, you know, just age, wear and tear. And so the skylights are gonna start to fail. See these pictures of these screws coming out? You can get those? So another thing that happens is wear and tear, you know, expansion and contraction. Metal, we all know expands and contracts. So what happens is in the heat and cold, it also moves the screws, and you're gonna have fasteners that start coming out, and that's creating leaks right now as we speak. But I'm sure if we look, because there's probably 1,400 squares here, so there's probably at least 20,000 screws. I'm just gonna guess maybe about 25,000 screws. So another thing, guys, that, you know, before that I always try to address with these customers, especially large losses, they're wondering whether it could be repaired or replaced, right? If this is an investment property, right? These are business owners. They're looking at the bottom line numbers, right? Their ROI, what's the return on their investment? Now, obviously in buildings that getting new roofs, it does return their investment because it increases the value of the property. When you're dealing with warehouses and certain different types of properties, they just want to know really how much it's going to cost. Do they really need to replace it, or can a repair suffice? Well, my job is to say that if they're going to waste money throwing a $25,000, $30,000 repair, just might be wasting their money, and then they're going to have to spend another $20,000 or $30,000 next year. Maybe the best option is for them to replace the roof in its entirety, or do like in this case, we might be able to do a coating system to save them a little bit more money. But at the end of the day, repairing this roof, there's too many variables just repairing. I think they'll just be throwing their mony away and then having to redo it next year or the following year. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna provide this to them, the report, and then I'm also gonna, you know, provide them the 3 different options so that way they can decide on. But when I provide those options, I'm not just gonna email it to them. That's not the way to go. If you're just emailing the quote to the customer, you're not doing your job. So what I do is when I send it to them, I let them know that I'm sending it to them, and if they have a 30-minute conversation, whether it's in person or over the phone, that I could get onto it right away. Because typically when somebody receives that estimate, what do you normally do? You go straight to the price. You didn't look at any of the pictures or any of the documentation or the scope of work. You just went straight to the price, and you're never gonna win a bid that way. You see how they did that, Austin? See how they replaced the ones up front here?
They put it underneath?
And you have to put it underneath because remember, water travels, right? So, you know, you want the panels to travel over the bottom panels of it and not go underneath the roof. Yeah, so we did that roof right there, and we did that metal roof there. Now, why is that? Why is it different? Yeah, I know that's the metal, right? That's the metal. So this is the roof that when Austin was working for the company that we did, that he made 650 bucks on as a referral. Yeah, that was a little funky roof. I think there's gonna be a lot, you know, of repair work if they just do the repairs.
I think repairs and the coating system on this would be the best way to go.
Yeah.
If we go with a total new re-roof, there's going to be obstacles.
I would rather go with a flute-filled TPO system. Yeah. That way you don't have to worry about any type of tear-off. I know it might be a little bit more, but the amount of delays inside the building that they'll have, because what'll happen is we're gonna have to close sections of the area, and you got all this machinery working and people, it's big money, they're gonna lose a lot of production on that. Coating system or TPO system I think is the best option for them. Re-roofing this, it's gonna slow down the production. This is a distribution manufacturing warehouse with a lot of oil, a lot of equipment, a lot of people. So tearing off this roof I don't think will be good in their best interest. So coating or TPO system. And then, so yeah, we're gonna get this wrapped up, document everything. We'll work on this proposal to send over. Yeah, we're finished up here, so we're gonna go and check out this metal roof going on. Report together.
Cool.
So
we'll meet up like maybe this weekend or something.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Okay, cool.
Let's work on it tomorrow.
All right, cool.
We'll take it long. We'll get it done.
Cool. Sound good?
Good one. Yes, sir. Evan, good deal. There's one.
Nice.
Would you be opposed to changing the way that thing looks?
No,
Okay.
no, it's not. I just don't want that water to be falling right down into the.
Yeah, and then we're gonna have a splash guard, some type of splash guard to cover it.
Yep.
Yeah, we're gonna figure something out. We're gonna have to customize it.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't care how it looks. It's it's on the back end.
Yeah,
and
so we're here today.
before
Yeah.
I forget the skylights. What is it that we have to do with those or nothing?
So some of the skylights, the fiberglass skylights, you can see the fiberglass already showing and it's all exposed and it's furring up.
Right.
Those skylights, I mean, everything need to be replaced.
Did you guys get a count on those?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, we got photos.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some of the skylights are newer.
Some of them are.
Yes,
Some
so,
are.
yeah.
I remember when they put some new. They actually installed new.
Yeah.
All right, cool. All
Yeah.
right. All right. Thanks, guys.
Yes, sir. All right, right now this is a metal roof system that we're installing, a 24 gauge standing seam. This is a high temp peel and stick, so this can actually be exposed to the elements for at least 180 days. Usual, it's 90 days is your standard peel and stick exposure, even though I wouldn't recommend even on standard peel and stick to be exposed for that long. But this is meant for it. So a lot of this product here is with tile roofs, metal. So when it's exposed to the sun, because tile is just a decorative system, the underlayment is what's going to protect the roof from leaking. And so this high temp lasts a lot longer than your standard peel and stick. And since the metal roof is a lifetime roof system, you want the underlayment to last as long as the system does. All right, so this is the funky part that we got to figure out. So I'm noticing now too, with the eave drip that he has right now, it's gonna go right, it's gonna shoot right over it.
We could have something with a kick here, and everything through, and then have the splash guard come up.
It's a funky little roof. It's just, the issue is because you can see where it's had a lot of problems in the way they designed the screen lanai. And so we got to come up with a solution to allow the water kind of run off into this gutter here instead of shooting over into the pool area. We are in Florida and it rains 80% of the time, so, and that's a brand new pool. When you go from a shingle roof to a metal roof, water's going to travel a lot faster with having metal. Also, the metal, the eaves, the drip edge is going to extend out further than the standard shingle drip edge. So it's going to extend out about 2 inches further past the eave, the edge of the roof. And so what's going to happen now is if you have gutters, a lot of times that water will surpass the gutter and then make the gutters useless. So the other option is to install a splash guard where the gutters are at to basically stop the water from going past the gutters and then stopping that. So, and this is his main concern here. And so what we're going to do with this section here is we got to build it up. So we're going to put 2x4s around, creating our own eave of the roof to be able to install a drip edge. That way, when we install the drip edge around the system, we can install a little gutter system as well, a small gutter system to divert the water from this corner here into this gutter and then allow it to travel. The drying is one of the most important parts of the roof system. It protects the inside from the weather, from the rain. So this right now is sealed up. So even if we had rain today, even though the metal roof system is not on here, this is going to protect your inside of your house. Another thing that we do too is because we don't have the pipe jack, because this is a metal roof system, so we put the pipe jack on last. We have to seal around it and caulk it to protect water intruding in this area. And so that's why you notice this area here is caulked a lot, and it's just for now until we get the roof system on. And then you have to install a splash guard, or it's harder to clean the gutters because you got this 2-inch overhang from the roof system. So the roof's gonna last longer, the gutters are gonna last longer, they don't have to worry about cleaning it, and it looks 10 times better. So what I look for on our projects, and we train all our supervisors to make sure we have caution tape around the perimeter. That way we can avoid, especially in a public area like this, it's high traffic, a lot of people are jogging, walking. We don't want anybody to come past here, so we put up caution tape around. It looks good. We have our yard sign out so people recognize who we are. We want them to see who's doing the roof. It's all about appearance, like cleanliness is next to godliness. We want our job site clean at all times, so that when people drive by, they don't see a mess, they see quality and they expect quality. But once somebody sees a mess and they start noticing how messy you are, they will then go and nitpick every little thing that you might have did incorrectly or that they're going to question. So the cleaner the job is throughout the project, the less questions or concerns the homeowner is going to have. Working the six-pack, guys. You know, anytime you're at a build, I recommend all my reps to be at the build every day and to ensure that you knock the builds, the six-pack, the houses around the project that you're working on in order to get more business and to tell them who you are. And not only that, you could also go up to them, leave a little note saying sorry for the noise, sorry for the mess. That way, if there is any issues because of your project, they have somebody to contact and to have any concerns about the roof project that's going on. I've gotten so many jobs. I mean, this past week, every build that I went to last week, I got a deal out of it. Usually I'll have the customer, if the customer knows them, I ask the customer, hey, do you know that person next door? They may walk you over there. Easy sell. If not, I'm gonna go and approach the next door neighbors, knock on the doors, and I've gotten inspections and I've gotten deals out of it. Well, they got wind damage. So Westfall must have did this roof a few years ago. They must have not installed it correctly. And if they don't answer, Austin, what I also want you to do is not only to leave that, but you're gonna go over there, you're gonna get a notepad, leave a note with your name and number, and stick it on the door. And just say, hey, I noticed some missing shingles, sorry to bother you. You know, I'm doing your neighbor across the street's roof, and I'd like to give a complimentary inspection, and I'll come over when you're home, and just leave your number and information. Handwritten note. The note does wonders, not just a card. And make it a little funny too, you know, like you could, you know, say things nice, you know, like, hey, beautiful, I won't make this weird, and I want to take care of your roof, you got damage, you know, so. I'm not gonna make this weird, LOL. I'm the roofing consultant across the street that's doing your neighbor's roof. Okay. I would love to give a free complimentary inspection. I noticed you have some wind damage to your roof. Please give me a call so I can come out and inspect it. When you have a metal system, it's an Energy Star. When you have shingles, it's an asphalt product, right? So you know asphalt absorbs the heat where the metal is gonna actually reflect it. So you'll see a difference inside as far as cooling. So I have a back room and a shingle roof system before, right? And they had solar attic fans. I put my metal roof on, removed the solar attic fans, installed a metal roof system, and my back living room is much cooler than it was ever before. So I noticed a huge difference. All right, guys, we just checked out this roof, see what's going on. This Saturday, we're gonna come back, see how far we've gotten along. And we're back, and just like that, movie magic, we got a brand new metal roof. Guys, this was a little complicated area, needed some custom trim work. The customer was experiencing a lot of runoff due to the heavy rains. There was no gutter here. When the installers built this screen, they didn't put a gutter attachment. So all the water was just shooting over, and the customer wanted something to do with this. So what we did was we custom made some sheet flashing and kind of divert the water. So now what's happening is the water is actually gonna hit this, what I would call a splash guard, and this is gonna run off into this gutter here. So we're able to create our own little custom system here that allows the water to run off, and now the customer's happy with that. It's actually working. We did experience some rain, and the customer was satisfied because a lot less water is now pouring off in this area, and I'm very pleased with the workmanship. And yeah, so when you choose a company like us, you do get some customization skills that are involved in these types of roof systems. All right, what we have here is an attic-free solar attic fan. This is a curb mount, and what this is designed to do is when your attic gets a certain temperature, it kicks on, the fan motor turns on, and it will release the hot air in your attic. So if you're ever wondering how to keep your house cooler, or if a metal roof is gonna extend more heat, it's actually not, because it's gonna reflect it, but adding one of these bad boys here will get the heat away from your attic a lot faster. And it's not that much more difference. And another great thing, because it is solar, you actually get a tax rebate for the expense that you paid for this. There's a lot of misconception on a black metal roof, like the one behind me, that you're gonna gain a lot more heat inside the house. And the answer is no, you're not. The black metal roof is actually gonna reflect the heat. It's not gonna absorb it like you think it will. Just like on my own house, I went with a black metal standing seam 24 gauge along with a solar system. My electric bill was over $500, and on the hottest months, around $600. Now, every consecutive month, my electric bill is $50, $50 to $60. That's how much I've saved on my electric bill, because I went with a metal roof, which is gonna allow a lot more cooling inside the house, and the solar system, which is taking away that electric bill that we all know we get screwed by TECO around this area. So, oh, even better, if you wanna see my electric bill, what it was last year to what it is today, give me a call and I'll shoot it over to you right away. And I bet you won't do that, but if you do, I'll send you my information. And if you want some of the sauce for your golden nuggets, just like and subscribe, keep following us, because more is gonna be coming, baby. We're gonna be setting up these videos. We're gonna have some more information between metal roofs, solar, shingle roofs, TPO roofs, anything you wanna follow and know and get how we run a multi-million-dollar company, because we're gonna hit 20 million this year, baby. We already hit 15, we're gonna go for 20, so let's go. Follow us for more.